All right, Star Wars character tier list. I'm ready. Let's go.
The roster of Star Wars characters has ballooned in the last 10 years,
Yes.
and there's a lot of shit and unmemorable ones.
Man, I like Star Wars enough, but I'm no fanboy. Let's just rate the decent characters and forget the Disney shit.
So what's the point of having this good, mad, terrible?
What about Grogu?
All right, Grogu's fire, but I mean, he's a baby. Yeah, I mean, he seems loyal, but he's a baby. Let's say great. He's a great character.
He's like a little pet, not even a real character.
A pet.
That's like saying Chewbacca isn't a real character.
Nope, Chewie's a Giga Chad
that's
and belongs in
not-
Legend tier.
Agreed.
Yeah, Legend tier's fine.
And on the subject of Grogu, I think he has potential. The Mandalorian has definitely been the best Star Wars has been recently.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to
I can say
Favreau
that.
and Filoni.
See that?
Gotta agree, man. Filoni's like a little baby George.
Well, I must say, I like his cowboy hat. I just think Grogu hasn't come into his own yet.
I mean, he's great.
I'm sure he
Or
will
good.
end up pretty goated, though, if they handle it right.
They're
I will
great.
watch his career with great interest.
Let's put
His
him in
career.
good and send
He's literally
our
CGI.
prayers to Disney that they don't fuck it all up again.
While
Okay,
we're on the
good
topic,
is
can we
fine.
put Mando in great?
Joe, with how many Mando
Mando. He's an amazing character. He reminds me of John Wick a lot. Yeah, I'd say great, maybe even amazing. He's like a Star Wars John Wick.
tattoos you've got, I would have expected you to rate him higher?
I think he is a cool guy. Love Pedro Pascal. But to me, he's just an awesome looking bounty hunter who acts as the glue around which the Star Wars world can come to life. He's solid.
Yeah, he's like a walking, not a plot device, but like he is Star Wars. Like he is around Star Wars. Like we see sand people, we see all these type of different races and insects and whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean that's normal to him because he's in this Star Wars life. So it gives us a point of view. So
Great, but
Yeah.
not legendary yet.
I can say great.
Still has some proving to do.
That was
Yeah.
based and very measured. I agree with you. The show is just fine. Nothing great.
No, man, I love the show as a
No,
whole.
the show is fucking
let's not
amazing.
fuck around.
The show is amazing. We're
Darth
talking about
Vader is
characters.
going directly up to
Darth Vader's in freaking super S
chatted
tier.
legend tier.
Chatted legend. We're just gonna call that S tier. That's too long.
Is there a more iconic villain in all of fiction?
Iconic villain in fiction. I immediately thought of Palpatine. I don't know why. I thought of Palpatine, but yeah, there's some other iconic, villains in fiction. I mean, Bowser, he's a legend in fiction.
Well, Dr.
There's
Robotnik
many.
is pretty iconic.
Dr. Robotnik
Eggman.
is
He'll always be Robotnik to me.
Who gives a
Robotnik.
shit?
They're the
Robotnik
same.
is nowhere
They're the same.
near this superstar bad guy.
Captain Hook is also pretty well known.
Captain Hook.
I want to finish this so we can play Smash Bros. So let's move on. Time to rank Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, so we're splitting him up into little...
Yeah, you got to split them up because these are different time periods and pretty much different characters. Like Darth Vader says himself several times that Anakin Skywalker is dead. So yeah, I'm pretty sure these are different characters. I would say Anakin Skywalker, including Clone Wars. I think that's definitely legendary. Like I think Darth Vader is better, but I think Anakin is definitely solid. Like we can see his growth from his downfall. You know what I'm saying? We literally see him from time to time kill people in the Clone Wars. We see him literally kill people for the sake of the good. And that's normally not something Jedi would do. That's usually the last result. And we've seen him be wrathful and have anger, and he's quick to anger. Like when Obi-Wan's talking to the Zargarian, he force pulls the hologram and crushes that shit. He's like, Zargarian scum, I will take care of that slaver. And it's like, bro, holy shit. Like, can nobody else feel the dark side energy? Is it just me watching the show that feels that dark side energy? Like, hello? So I think Anakin definitely a legendary character, man. I would slap him in legend. You can put him in Giga Chad legend if you want to. I just don't think we really see him have that big of an impact on the entire galaxy, but he definitely leaves an entire like a huge impact on the show.
Annie, prequels Annie and Vader. This is Gohan all over again.
It
Let's
makes
go
even
hand
more
all
sense.
over. Okay, so this is the same person that made this Dragon Ball tier list. I expect some crazy takes because that Dragon Ball tier list was wild, bro.
To rank Anakin this way than it did Gohan. When
Gohan.
Anakin becomes Darth Vader, his body is remade. His heart has
His
turned
mind,
black with
yep.
Palpatine's evil influence.
Yep.
The man
They're
is
not the same.
transformed in the flames of Mustafar.
They're not the same.
Well, he's not in Vader tier. And I don't watch those
Legend.
kids' shows.
If you don't watch the shows, that's an L on you. You should have saw them because they were fucking amazing.
Man, Clone Wars is an epic show, and if you write it off so easily, it just proves you're not a true fan.
Choose your
Like I give a fuck Old Man River. Anakin just isn't that awesome.
Old Man River.
Geez, cool your jets.
Anakin
Look,
is
he had a great
amazing.
fight against
Legendary.
Obi-Wan, but his dialogue was just too lame to be considered higher than great.
Hayden Christensen did a
Are we literally saying? Is he literally saying he never saw Star Wars: The Clone Wars? That's your loss, pal.
phenomenal job.
That's your loss,
Anakin
pal.
and
What I tell you, this tier list was going to have some crazy takes in it.
improved his acting chops once more in the Kenobi series.
If we're talking about just the movies, Hayden Christensen, little Anakin Skywalker up till Revenge of the Sith Skywalker, we're gonna have to say great. Like, he's a little better than good. I'd say low grade, right? Low grade. Because all we see him do is make mistakes and do crazy shit. That's literally all we see in the movies. So that's why, like, there's no way he doesn't even compare to the legend status that he would get if you saw the Clone Wars, and that's an absolute shame.
He's a fine actor, but
'Cause
George
I know how
Lucas
good
just
this
didn't write
character
the
is.
character well. No hard feelings, Joe. I know you're ride or die for Annie.
Let's talk Obi-Wan, the Chadliest Chad that ever walked.
Okay, we're only talking about the movies here. He leaves a greater impression than Anakin does. You can go ahead and slap him in Amazing, and you can put him in Giga Chad Legend if you see the shows. If you see Clone Wars, and if you see shit, what's that shit called? What's after Clone Wars? Damn, I don't remember the name, but yeah,
the Earth.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Obi-Wan is great, both young
Rebels. If you see Rebels, he's in that one too. So Giga Chad Legend, throw him up there.
and old. Ewan McGregor really did a fucking incredible job of bringing Obi-Wan back.
Oh well, if we're splitting up Ben, then never mind. He's not in Rebels. Okay, Ben is in Rebels.
He's such a lovable actor in everything he does and brings believability and heart to the role.
And let's not forget Alec Guinness. That dude didn't know it at the time, but the guy ended up as one of the most iconic characters
Characters
of
in
all time.
fiction.
Chatted legend.
Okay, Ben Kenobi does a great job being the teacher, the role model, the one that instills wisdom into Luke. I would not take anything away from him. But just in the movies alone, I think Ben is closer to legend than Giga Chad legend. If you add Rebels, him defeating Darth Maul in that iconic just bing bing bam samurai three slices, that's it. Rest, gives him rest, saying I forgive you, moving on. That gives him like definitely Giga Chad legend status. But just the movies, I think would be more legend than Giga Chad legend. Because you're comparing him to fucking Darth Vader. You see what I'm saying? So Ben, I don't think so. But movies, Obi-Wan definitely legend status. But if you add the cartoon, like the Clone Wars, if you add Clone Wars and if you add the one before Clone Wars that came out on Cartoon Network, that's also pretty good Obi-Wan Kenobi. But definitely the show as well. You see that he loses his one love on Mandalore. I can't remember. Is it Duchess Satine? He loses Duchess Satine. Darth Maul, the one he thought he slain that killed his master, he's looking him in the eye and he has the woman of his dreams. Literally, he's holding her by the force and he has guards all around him. And he's like, what do I do? All I can try and do is try and reason with Darth Maul, and that does not work. He says, you're gonna lose what I lost, and he kills her. Force lightsaber, gives it to him. This is how I felt. Obi-Wan sitting there with the love of his life dying in his arms, and she says, I love you. And you just see the loss. But instead of turning evil like Anakin did, he accepts it. And he becomes a greater person for it. So yeah, I think Obi-Wan definitely with the cartoon is Giga Chad legend stat, whatever the fuck that shit says.
Moving on to Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon Jinn was dope. He's literally a gray Jedi in the Jedi Council. He pretty much goes his own way, but still goes with the good side of the Force. Definitely respectable figure. But in the movies, I mean, he just shows up one time, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say Qui-Gon is, I mean, if you take in like comics and legends and all this other shit, you can definitely say Amazing Some would even say legend. But just for like the movie, you're gonna have to say great. I mean, he shows up fucking one movie, bro. Like, come on. But he does do a great job. But yeah, great. I would say above Anakin when it comes to the movies. But I mean, maybe low amazing tier. But
He was a great character, loved his calm demeanor, had some great one-liners with "There's always a bigger fish."
Oh, yeah, man, that line really got me thinking.
Very philosophical. Let's put him in amazing tier.
Why the fuck not?
Okay.
because he shows up for one movie, and you guys were talking about how fucking great Anakin, how bad Anakin is in the movies, but you won't even give him a chance for Clone Wars. So yeah, that's why I would say why not.
Curveball.
Hit me!
Jesus, man, that McDonald's really got you revved up, Donnie.
Let's rate young Han Solo.
Young Han, what the fuck? Young Han Solo from the Solo movie. I thought he did I thought the movie was cool. Okay, I was not hyped up for it or whatever. I literally saw it months after it came out from an online fucking service. Okay, and I was like, yeah, this movie's pretty fucking good. So I'm gonna give young Han Solo. I'm gonna give him a good, maybe a great, because I don't even remember the movie that much. I just remember I enjoyed it. So maybe low, great, good. I don't know, somewhere around there. Y'all let me know what y'all think about young Han Solo.
Oh, fuck my life.
Was he really that bad?
I mean, this is where we actually do
so.
have to rate the character in two parts. Young Han is not the real Han Solo.
You're so inconsistent.
The fuck does
What
that
happened to
mean?
Gohan is Gohan.
Well, young Han is not old Han.
I'd say it wasn't a terrible depiction of Han Solo. Just a shitty, unnecessary film, and the actor was never going to fill Harrison Ford's ultra-legendary boots.
Just put him in May and let's talk Darth Maul, baby.
Okay.
Oh boy, I love Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, dude. If we're talking movies, this is what this guy is talking about. Darth Maul is cool. You see the menacing, you're like, oh my god, this guy's a villain. Not knowing that Palpatine is actually ahead of him, he gives that information like there's always two. So that's cool. He slays Qui-Gon. The choreography for the Phantom Menace was absolutely fucking fantastic. But movie Darth Maul really just shows up, does some cool shit, dies. And that's really about it. He gives some hints about what's to come and stuff like that, but that's really about it. I would say great. Like he left a great impression. Like it sounds like I'm about to say he's good, but no, he's a great character. He left an impression. There's a reason why dual-bladed lightsabers, double-bladed lightsabers became so popular. It's mostly because of him. If you just showed a double-bladed lightsaber and then that person died, everybody been like, oh, that's cool, but what the fuck? He made double lightsabers look fucking cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and give movie Darth Maul a great. Look, Clone Wars and Rebels Darth Maul. The same reason why I would say Amazing Giga Chad for Obi-Wan and Clone Wars is the same fucking reason I would give it to Darth Maul. Not only did he come back, but he came back for vengeance. He wanted to kill Obi-Wan. He did it amazing way. He took over Mandalore and he wasn't even the head of it. He instilled a puppet government. That's some United States Army shit. To put a puppet government in another country and you run it from the background, absolutely perfect idea until Palpatine found out. And then that should happen. But then on top of that, even when his back was against the corner, Ahsoka shows up with some clones for reinforcement to take back Mandalore. He can feel that something's going on, and he even tries to reason with Ahsoka, even though I'm pretty sure if he did get Ahsoka on his side after they took out Anakin or Palpatine, whatever, if he somehow convinced her, he probably would have turned on Ahsoka or went back to trying to rule the world. But we don't know that. That's just all my headcanon. But for him to even try and reason with Ahsoka, and you can hear the fear in his voice when he gets captured. He's like, no, he's going to kill us all. You can see the fear in his face. He was not joking about that Anakin. He meant it. He knew that shit, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give Giga Chad amazing whatever the fuck status.
I loved his double lightsaber, plus his fighting style and face paint was absolutely epic.
He was definitely the best action figure
That's not face paint. That's the skin, you racist.
to come out of the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, but I see a lot of wasted potential with that guy. I know he was in the animated shows, but I'm too cool to watch that shit.
You hear what I'm saying? They're too cool, right? He's sucking himself off. I don't watch kids shows. I'm too cool to watch it. That's your loss. That's your loss, buddy. But look, wasted potential. All that potential has been achieved in Clone Wars and Rebels.
He's got to be a legend.
Sure.
What about Bill Burr?
You're gonna give him legend, yet you haven't seen Clone Wars, boy.
see him in.
Shit, who the fuck is that?
He's got to be a legend.
Sure.
Who's that?
What about Bill Burr?
Bill Burr. What the fuck? Bill Burr's in Star Wars?
Funny guy, but didn't need to see him in Star Wars, honestly.
He is meh.
Can we stick to good shit? Let's do Luke.
Luke in the original trilogy, he's our hero. So yeah, I mean, you can't do nothing but put him in legend or absolute legend status. You have no choice. That was the original hero, right? We don't really get a prequel of him growing up with his flaws. We just get him growing up in episode 4, right? Episode 4, and then he rises to the occasion. So absolute legend status. I don't even know why Luke's on here. Like, that's an automatic. That's just like Darth Vader. That is an automatic.
Obvious chatted legend.
Obviously.
He had that handsome boy next door thing going on in the OG trilogy. He was really the quintessential hero. You could root for him.
Yeah, but don't get me started on what they did to him in the sequel trilogy. It was a
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they didn't really do too well with the sequels.
goddamn travesty, and Hamill knew it. I felt so bad for the guy watching the character he had known his whole life being ripped apart by that shit-stain Rian Johnson.
Hey man, Rian Johnson has done some cool movies.
But he didn't do the cool ones that mattered.
Yeah, I love Knives Out.
Yeah, Knives Out was actually pretty dope.
I actually think it was Jar Jar Abrahams that fucked up the sequels by literally not planning out the story.
New movies aside, Luke is a platinum Giga Chad and goes.
I thought J.J. Abrams, with his version, was pretty good, even though I hear it was just a copy paste of A New Hope. So
Right up there with Vader.
Truth, brother.
Okay, before we go play some Smash, let's rate one more character. Well, characters actually, because we're going to do the Stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers are ass compared to clones, but Stormtroopers on their own, some do amazing things, some just don't. I think the one thing that stops Stormtroopers from being cool is because it's literally random people from out the galaxy. In Clone Wars, they were all grown, they were all properly trained. Even the clones, when they become Stormtroopers, they say that these Stormtroopers they're not good soldiers. They're just people that are randomly picked, or some people enlist. But yeah, I would say Stormtroopers are meh, or whatever. But I would give Clone Troopers. I'd give Clone Troopers great, because even though a lot of them okay, not all of them, they're literally all the same person. A couple of them actually stand out. I don't even have to name them. You already know who they are. Okay, I'll name them: Rex, Wolf, Gregor, Fives, and I was gonna say the ones that died on that one training episode that was good. I can't remember the name, like Gunner or some shit like that. But yeah, the Bad Batch, like, they still stand out even though they're literally the same person. So yeah, and you get that whole philosophical, are clones, do they have their own soul? They're just bred for war. They didn't get to choose the war, and some of them even leave. Like the one clone that had a family, he abandoned his post, but he had a family now, with a Twi'lek. It's like, do you rip this guy away from his family? He was bred for war. He doesn't get a say. And then Rex comes out with that, like, okay, well, maybe we do get a say, maybe we can choose our own destiny. And then Rex turns in from a goody, I just follow orders, to his own man, So yeah, clones are definitely amazing. Some are legendary, right? Some are Giga Chad legends like Rex. But yeah, I would say overall clones are amazing. Who else are we gonna put on here? Let's put Jar Jar on here, just because I think Jar Jar he's a mad character. He's not terrible. He does his part in the Clone Wars in giving Palpatine power. So he is important. So I would say he's all right. He's meh. Who else can we put on here? We could put the Hutts. We would put Jabba. I would put Jabba in great. He does his job, and he shows up in Clone Wars to give Anakin and Ahsoka a mission to rescue his son. So he is important. He is a criminal and stuff like that. Jango Fett. Jango Fett is hard for me because I really love Jango Fett, and I played Bounty Hunter at such a young age. So I hold that character in that game in high esteem, right? But I feel like Django could have not survived the fight with Mace Windu, but he could have got out of there. He didn't have to stay in the Coliseum, but I guess the loyalty to Dooku is what kept him there, because Dooku pretty much got him all those credits, got him a new life, gave him his own clone to raise on his own as his son in Boba. I would give Jango Fett legend status. I can't give him Giga Chad legend, but legend status because his comic book was absolutely fire as well. Boba, on the other hand, I think could go in absolute Giga Chad legend because we see him grow up. We see him lose his father and his lust for revenge from Mace Windu, and eventually he turns all that shit around. We see it in Clone Wars. He has his own gang and group, and he's like, "We're gonna do this, uh, this, and this." I can't remember off the top because I'm thinking about these other cool characters. Like I want to put Asajj Ventress on here. Asajj Ventress went from being a meh or a good character all the way up to I think she's legendary, right? Not Giga Chad legend, but legendary. Like Asajj Ventress definitely did a 180 on how I felt about her just throughout the year. She went from being another servant of Dooku, just follow my orders, to she's being the top fucking queen. You know what I'm saying? If Ahsoka wasn't there, she'd be like the top queen. General Grievous, I think he's great. He does his job. Obi-Wan Kenobi, great memes aside, he's an interesting character. You learn about his race and he got cybernetics and shit like that. He has a rivalry with Ventress. So yeah, General Grievous I put great. Who else we're gonna put on there? Mace Windu, since I brought him up earlier. Mace Windu and other people of the council, I think, are really good characters. Mace, in particular, I think he's legendary status due to Clone Wars. The one thing that's faulting him from being absolute legend is he did not trust Anakin at all. But how can you blame him? Anakin literally showed several times that he's willing to go beyond necessary measures to either save people or just disobey council rules, regardless. Like he even tells Ahsoka, he's like, we break the rules all the time. So they do whatever the hell they want. So definitely understandable why he's not Giga Chad legend, but Mace Windu definitely legend here. Yoda, absolute Giga Chad legend. I'm confused why he's not on the list. I feel like Yoda should be on this list. He teaches everybody. He's loving. He cares for the Jedi immensely. Gives Anakin multiple chances to turn things around. And the only fault that he had was with Ahsoka. He did not back Ahsoka. That was definitely a great mistake. Um, Speaking of Ahsoka, I think Ahsoka can go in legend tier. She definitely, I mean, shit, she's top queen. I want to give her absolute legend stat. Fuck it, we're gonna give Ahsoka absolute legend. That's top queen, baby. Ahsoka Tano is top queen, so she's going to absolute legend status, and she's still around. She even shows up in the Mandalorian. She's doing her thing. She shows up in Rebels. I love her. Ahsoka Tano, absolute queen, absolute legend. Padme, I'm gonna say Padme in the movies is definitely just like good. She's good. That's literally it. She's a good character. But Padme in the Clone Wars next level, she definitely deserves more hype. She had went on several missions. She did a couple of them on her own or with Jar Jar or whatever, saving the day. She's been saved multiple times, but I would say Clone Wars Padme is low great. I mean, low amazing. Like I want to put her in amazing, but low amazing, right? Low amazing. She's on there. She ain't legend, but Padme is definitely low amazing. I enjoyed her. I enjoyed her in the series. Um, who else? I think I named everybody. Dooku, Count Dooku. Count Dooku in the movies is great. He fills his role well. He's like a shadowy, oh, what is this guy up to? You never know what Count Dooku's planning. Little do you know, Palpatine was pulling the strings the whole time, and nobody knew it. Clone Wars Dooku, I think he's a little bit better, but not too much better. So, movie Dooku is great, but I'd say Clone Wars is amazing. He's certified amazing in Clone Wars. He is a great villain, but all the cool shit that he does, it's for nothing because we know he's going to get his head cut off. So it's like pointless everything that he does. Cad Bane, I enjoyed Cad Bane. I thought he was cool. I thought when he first came out, I thought he was like, oh, this is going to be a legendary character. But just overall throughout the show, he kept failing at his mission, and he's supposed to be top bounty hunter in the Clone Wars era. I don't think so, Bucko. So he's going to go from legend status to amazing for me personally, but I do enjoy Cad Bane and his awesome cowboy hat. He was doing Mandalorian before Mandalorian was a thing. So I'm going to give him respect points for that, but definitely not legend status like I want him to be. With that being said, I think that's everyone. Cad Bane, Dooku, Palpatine. I almost forgot to rank Palpatine himself. Giga Chad, amazing legend. Like, come on, he planned all this shit out. He went undercover as the good guy just for them to grow their own army and then turn the army against them. Like, but this plan had so many fucking flaws, and literally in Clone Wars was almost unraveled like 3 or 4 different times. You know what I'm saying? This whole plan would have collapsed, right? But of course, the way it's written, it had to succeed. But I definitely could have seen this shit collapsing at any moment. So I guess, I mean, Giga Chad Legend, whatever. I mean, it worked. You know what I'm saying? The plan worked, so I can't complain. Uh, Count Dooku, Darth Maul's brother, Savage Opress. I think he's fine. He brought back Dooku. I mean, he brought back Maul, but then after that, he was like the shadow guy. He was like the mini boss. It's like before you get the Darth Maul, you gotta go through Savage Opress, and good luck because Savage Opress is a fucking truck. Savage Opress is like the Nappa of Dragon Ball. He's like the Nappa of Star Wars. You feel me? Like he's big and menacing, but after you beat him, you still got to deal with that short fucker that's super strong. So Savage Press, I'm gonna give him. I want to give him low grade. I'm gonna give Savage Press low grade. And with that being said, okay, Rebels. Shit, we gotta talk about Rebels now. Um, Kanan Jarrus. I think Kanan Jarrus definitely earns his legend status throughout the show. He goes from being like a hothead to being an actual teacher, even though he's like a he's failing at teaching, but he's trying the best he can. I mean, he's fucking blind. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying the best he can, and I think he does earn his legend status. But like barely, he's barely legendary, right? He has a TV show, but he's barely legendary. Um, who's the kid that Kanan trains? I don't remember his name, but he goes from like a normal kid that's like working on shit using slingshots to a Jedi. I think his portrayal is pretty good. I just can't remember his name because there's so many names in my head. But y'all know the one with the green lightsaber. So I think he's cool. I think I would give him amazing. He does his role well, and he was tempted in the dark side by Darth Maul, and he was even following it a little bit. But then he was like, "No, like forget that, Maul. You're using me. Like, no, I'm not even gonna." Even though he wants the power, because the dark side corrupts, but I feel like he wants the power to try and do good things. And like they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So, but at the end of the day, he didn't fall for it because Ahsoka showed up and saved the day, gave him some real mentoring and stuff like that. So I would give him amazing tier, but not legendary. Not yet. I'm gonna have to see more from this guy. The rest of the team, the bounty hunter chick, I thought she was cool. I'm gonna give her great. I thought she was cool, and she leads the Mandalorians against the dark saber. Her growth was really good to see. The mom of the group, I really enjoyed her. She's just a Twi'lek. She drives. She keeps everybody in check. Keeps everyone grounded. Um, I'm gonna give her great tier. Chopper. I'm gonna give Chopper amazing because he is hilarious, bro. Chopper is hilarious, but he does save the day a couple times. He does fulfill his role. He is the bot. Speaking of bots, R2D2, we're gonna give R2D2 legend status. Shit, R2D2 honestly could go on absolute legend status, and I would not complain. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put R2D2 absolute legend status. C3PO, I don't enjoy as much. I think legend status is good. He does help out a lot of times. He's translator, this and that. But legend stat R2D2 baby. R2 and C3PO are a great combination, but we know R2 is the real leader of that 2-man squad. So um, with that, is that the big furry guy from Rebels? Excuse me. I don't remember any real development. I thought he was just a solid character throughout. He knew his role. He was like a little mean in the beginning, but he becomes loving. He's the muscle of the group. I would say he's good, maybe great. I don't really remember him getting a character development. I think like throughout the show, he's developing or he's just showing off what type of character he is, but that's really about it. Um, let's talk about the clones real quick before I end this shit because I've been talking for like ever. I'm gonna give Captain Rex Giga Chad legend status. Shows up in Clone Wars, has his development from being a yes sir, Roger that sir, to maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should think about this. Don't go alone. Looks after Ahsoka like a kind of like another brother. You know, Anakin and Ahsoka, they're brother and sister. Captain Rex is like another brother, maybe even an uncle. By the time he's an old man in Rebels, but he does his thing. He's loving. He grounds the other two clones in Rebels. He grounds Wolf and Gregor. So definitely Captain Rex has to go Giga Chad legend status. Fives, fives, great character. Dude almost saved the day, almost stopped Darth Vader, stopped Palpatine, almost stopped all of this shit from happening. So freaking close, fives. You were so close, but then he gets redeemed, comes back. Not redeemed, but he does come back. He joins the Bad Batch. I'm gonna give fives as a character. I'm gonna give him legend status, bro. He deserves it. He went through hell to free his brothers. Like he went to hell, bro. Um, Wait, was it fives? What was the clone that went crazy? He found out the plot. He found out about the chip. That wasn't fives, was it? I don't think that was fives. He deserves absolute Giga. He deserves legend status. I would say Giga Chad legend status if he succeeded. If he actually told everybody else what was going on. His death was very meaningful and impactful, and they were just so close to stopping Palpatine. I don't remember his name. I don't think that was fives, but fives definitely, um, gets kidnapped, gets cyberized, stuff like that. Fives is legend status as well. What was that clone's name? I can't remember that clone's name. Y'all let me know if you're watching this 30 minutes in. If you're watching this, Wolf and Gregor, they're cool, but they're like, Wolf Pack, Gregor this, and I mean, I think they're great, but I don't think they're anywhere close to Rex status, right? So I would say great, maybe amazing if you guys know more about them than I do, but I can't really see them going that far in this tier list because you got to remember who's on these lists, bro. Well, I mean, my version of the list. Um, but yeah, I think that's everyone. I think that's everybody that I can think of and I can remember right now. But yeah, I think that was pretty good.
Oh, hells yeah.
Love them. They're the perfect generic foot soldiers. Awesome helmets that are similar to Vader's, and you've got to love that gleaming white finish on the suits.
All right, I'm gonna leave this video. I'm gonna go ahead and hit like because I ain't no hater. Even though I don't agree with the list, I mean it is what it is. And not everybody's gonna agree with everybody's list. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Where would you guys rank the ones that I talked about that aren't on the list, like the Ahsoka, Rex, Mace, Yoda, Palpatine? Oh, did I give yeah, Chad a legend status? That's what I gave Palpatine. Yeah, like man, I love Star Wars. Like even though Star Wars ain't really it right now, like Ray, I don't even know. I haven't seen it. Finn, I thought Finn was cool, and then I fell asleep during the movie, so I don't know, and I didn't watch the rest, so I don't know if Finn is still a cool character or not. So I don't know. The Asian lady that stunned Finn, I remember seeing that, but I don't know what she does. Captain Phasma, she looked cool as hell, but I don't really think she did. I think she died, so I don't even fucking know where Captain Phasma ranks. You know what I'm saying? Kylo Ren, I'd say Kylo was a cool villain, but I didn't see all the movies, so I don't know. But yeah, y'all let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.